1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
It's the wrong time and the wrong place. Though your face is charming, it's the wrong face. It's not his face, but such a charming face that it's alright with me. It's the wrong song in the wrong style. Though your smile is lovely, it's the wrong smile. It's not his smile, such a lovely smile that it's alright with me. You can't know how happy I am that we met. I'm strangely attracted to you. There's someone I'm trying so hard to forget. Don't you want to forget someone too? It's the wrong game with the wrong chips. Though your lips are tempting, they're the wrong lips. They are not his lips, but such tempting lips that if some night you're free, dear, it's alright. It's alright with Now, you can't know how happy I am that we met. I'm strangely attracted to you. There's someone I'm trying so hard to forget. Don't you want to forget someone too? It's the wrong game with the wrong chips. Though your lips are tempting, they're the wrong lips. They're not his lips, but such tempting lips that it's some night you're free. If it's alright, it's alright with me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Velvet Note. I'm so happy to be here. So, as you were told, this evening is a dedication really to Ella Fitzgerald. And I have to tell you that when a club first approached me about honoring Ella, I hesitated because I thought, you know, it's been done, so many wonderful singers have done so many tributes to her. What can I do that's different? And I thought, there is a period of time, 8 years in Ella's career, and she had a very storied career with many eras to it. Between 1956 and 1964, she made a series of albums that honored the composers of the Great American Songbook. And in doing so, canonized many of the songs, esteemed the composers, the repertoire itself, and mostly, she went from being a well-known jazz artist among a cult jazz following to an international star. So a lot happened during this period. These are the songbook years. So we're going to begin, we just did begin, with It's All Right With Me from the Cole Porter Songbook. It was the first album that came out in 1956. Now the problem was that Cole Porter wasn't really an Ella fan. In fact, the nicest thing I could find that he said about her was, that girl has very nice diction. Okay, but he was very happy with the outcome of this album. It was very successful. So we're going to do a couple of songs from each of these albums through this evening and tell you a few stories about Ella and the characters around her, the composers themselves, and just pay a little homage to the great lady of song. This next tune from the Cole Porter Songbook is Night and Day. whether near to you or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are, I think of you. Night and day, day and night. Why is it so that this longing for you follows wherever I go? In the roaring traffic boom, in the silence of my lonely room, I think of you. Night and day, night and day. Under the hide of me, there's such a hungry yearning burning inside of me. And this torment won't be through till you let me spend my life making love to you. Night and day. My life making love to you. Night and day, day and night. Night and day. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, it should be noted that all of these songbooks were recorded on a brand new label called Verve. And Verve still exists today under a different, I think they're owned by Sony now, but it was started back in '56 by the jazz impresario Norman Granz. And Norman Granz also produced all of these albums as well. He was also Ella's manager. And they had a very long, wonderful, professional relationship together without any contract. They both said, you know, if things go south for either one of us, we're good, we can just leave. But it didn't happen that way. They had a long relationship. The Cole Porter songbook did so well that they put out another one in 1956. This was Rodgers and Hart. Now at this point, Norman Granz said to Ella, so what do you think of this? I mean, what do you think about doing these songbooks? And she said, I think you're trying to ruin my career. He said, no, because she was happy with just doing her thing with her jazz bands and, just the bebop stuff and scatting and being herself and putting her stamp on every song known to man. And he said, I really think you can do more, you can offer more to the entire world by doing these songbooks, because the songbooks were supposed to be about the composers, okay? So everything had to be sung just as written. So, 1956, Rodgers and Hart songbook. This first song from that album is from their Broadway musical Boys from Syracuse, and they did many. The very young Buddy Bregman, 25-year-old kid, was the arranger and conductor of this, and he and Ella got along great. This is This Can't Be Love. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This can't be love because I feel so well. No sobs, no sorrows, no sighs. This can't be love. I get no dizzy spell. My head is not in the skies. My heart does not stand still, just hear it beat. This is too sweet to be love. This can't be love because I feel so well, and yet I love to look in your eyes. look so handsome on that. Louis Hariveau on the piano. I am so happy and honored to be on the stage with these guys because this guy and I go way back, but these two I hadn't met until 3 days ago. And we did some other gigs and we were just having a ball. Are we not? So we go way, well not way back, but back about 5 years. Every time I come to Atlanta, we play together. Teacher at Emory University and just one of the most fantastic bass players I know, Chris Riggenbach. And we are fast friends, my dear. I said to Louis, I said, who do you like to play drums? Texted back in 2 seconds, Xavier Breaker. And here he is on drums, Xavier Breaker. Continuing with the Rodgers and Hart songbook. During the recording of this next song, Richard Rodgers said, and he doesn't give compliments easily. In fact, he wasn't that nice a man, apparently. He had few words to give anybody, and sometimes they were quite harsh. But during the recording of this song, My Romance, he said, whenever I hear her sing my songs, she always makes them sound better. Now, here's what I think is kind of funny about that. He said, my songs, he was writing with Lorenz Hart. Just seems indicative of his personality, but what a wonderful writer. This is My Romance. My romance doesn't have to have a moon in the sky. My romance doesn't need a blue lagoon standing by. No month of May, no twinkling stars, no hideaway, no soft guitars. My romance doesn't need a castle rising in Spain, nor a dance to a constantly surprising refrain. Wide awake, I can make my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance doesn't need a thing but you. Doesn't need a castle rising in Spain, nor a dance constantly surprising refrain. Wide awake, I can make my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance doesn't need a thing but you. My romance doesn't need a thing but you. Thank you. 1957. Time for the Duke Ellington songbook. Now, this was the first time that the composer being honored was actually the arranger, conductor, and a performer on the album. It was also the first time that Ella and Ellington ever worked together, but it certainly wasn't the last. This album took an entire year to make for various reasons. It was 3 volumes, so there were one was with a large orchestra, one was with a small band, and the other one was a salute to lyricist Billy Strayhorn, who wrote with Ellington all the time. Anyway, this first song Ellington he composed under the title of Never No Lament. And then he hired a lyricist of his, Bob Russell, who he liked working with, and it became Don't Get Around Much Anymore. Missed the Saturday dance, heard they crowded the floor. Awfully different without you, don't get around much anymore. Thought I'd visit the club, got as far as the door. They'd have asked me about you, don't get around much anymore. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up memories? Being invited on dates might have gone, but what for? Awfully different without you, I don't get around much anymore. Saturday dance. Heard they crowded the floor. Awfully different without you. I don't get around much anymore. Thought I'd visit the club. Got as far as the door. They'd have asked me about you. I don't get around much anymore. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up memories? Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for? Awfully different without you. I don't get around much anymore. Awfully different without you. I don't get around much anymore. Yeah, I love Ellington. I love Ellington. One of the reasons they say that this volume, this 3-set volume, took a year, one of the reasons is because Ellington was such a perfectionist. I mean, he wanted everything just so. So there were lots of stops and starts. And every time the band came to the studio to record, he would say, fellas, with Ella up front, you gotta play better than your best. There were lots of takes. And you know, his musicians were awesome, but for him, it had to be just right. And it was. We're gonna do another tune from the Ellington Songbook that happens to be one of my favorite Duke Ellington tunes. It's not your standard blues, but it's about as bluesy as you can get. It's called I Ain't Got Nothing But the Blues. Ain't got the change of a nickel. Ain't got no bounce in my shoes. Ain't got no fancy to tickle. I ain't got nothing but the blues. Ain't got no coffee that's perking now. Ain't got no winnings to lose. Ain't got a dream that's working. I ain't got nothing but the blues. When trumpets flare up, I get my hair up. I can't seem to get it down. Believe me, Pappy, I can't feel happy since my ever-loving baby left town. Ain't got no rest, no rest in my slumber. Ain't got no feelings to bruise. Ain't got no telephone number. I ain't got nothing but the blues. Don't you know I get my hair up? I can't seem to get it down. Believe me, Pappy, I can't feel happy since my ever-loving baby left town. Ain't got no rest in my slumber. Ain't got no feelings to bruise. Ain't got no telephone number. I ain't got nothing but the Okay, I need a drink now. Blues. 1958. The songbooks were, this was the fourth, and it celebrated Irving Berlin. And this album was actually nominated for Album of the Year. It was the first year of the Grammy Awards. It didn't win, but Ella did for Best Performance by an Individual. So it was her first Grammy, one of three for these whole songbooks. This first song that we're going to do, oh, and by the way, this songbook took a week to make, while the Ellington songbook took a year. I have no idea why, but it was very fast. The first song that we're going to do was not on the original issue of this album, and I have a little theory as to why. So Ella just came off of doing the Ellington songbook. Now, Ellington was very much a jazz writer more than a popular songwriter, and so she was able to stretch out a little bit and be more herself. So I'm guessing she comes in to do Irving Berlin, and coming off of Ellington and being a little loose, she sings this song, Blue Skies, and goes to town with her improvisations and her scatting, and so does the band. And they left it off the album because everything was supposed to be sung just so. But they did release this as a single, and it was played on the radio, and it became a huge hit. So on every reissue of this songbook, Blue Skies was on there. So we're going to give you our version of it this evening. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing their song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the day hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Blue skies shining on me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing their song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the day hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. nothing but blue skies from now on. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. In 1958, a lot was happening culturally in our world, in the United States. And the songbooks sort of chronicled what was going on in terms of what was going on culturally in terms of personnel used. So Frank Rich, who was one of the most wonderful writers and wrote as a critic for the New York Times, said this, and this sums it up. I quote, "Here was a black woman popularizing the urban songbook, largely written by Jewish immigrants, to a national Christian white audience." So here it was, things were coming full circle, things were starting to happen, and it was kind of a microcosm in the making of these songbooks. You know, it was just the people that mixed together that hadn't mixed together before was remarkable. Now, this is a wonderful song that's off the Irving Berlin songbook that I always think is a Cole Porter song. To me, it sounds very much like Cole Porter. It's Irving Berlin, and it's usually done as a very happy, rompy song. But there's an underbelly to this song that I think we're going to explore this evening. Let's face it, yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and and romance, let's face the music and dance before the fiddlers have fled, before they ask us to pay the bill, and while we still have a chance, let's face the music and dance. Soon we'll be without the moon, humming a different tune, and then there may be teardrops to shed, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, let's face the music and dance, dance. Let's face the music and dance. Soon we'll be without the moon, humming a different Let's face the music and dance, dance. And let's face the music and dance, and dance, and dance, and That hasn't happened in a long time. You take a breath, and it's like, so pardon me. It's live music, right? In the recording studio, it all would have stopped. But 1959. I always say the George Gershwin songbook. The Gershwin songbook, meaning George and Ira Gershwin. This was the first time that the arranger-conductor Nelson Riddle came in to work, and he was very well known. And the following songbooks did very well because Nelson Riddle was a highly respected arranger and conductor. He and Ella had worked before, and this was like the fourth time they'd worked together, so they were old chums. It fit like a glove. Now, Ira was still alive. George had died at the age of 27, and he helped pick the 53 tracks on this songbook, which was wonderful. They all considered it an honor that he was around to help pick the ones that they were going to record. This first song, she does a great job on this. The lyrics are a little bit dated. If kids are in the audience, I say it's kind of a history lesson. You'll know why in a second. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. They all laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round. They all laughed when Edison recorded sound. They all laughed at Wilbur and his brother when they said that man could fly. They told Marconi wireless was a phony. It's the same old cry. They laughed at me, wanting you. Said I was reaching for the moon. But ooh, you came through. Now they'll have to change their tune. They all said we never could be happy. They laughed at us and how. But ha ha ha, who's got the last laugh now? They all laughed at Rockefeller Center. Now they're fighting to get in. They all laughed at Whitney and his cotton gin. They all laughed at Fulton and his steamboat, Hershey and his chocolate bar. Ford and his Lizzie kept the laughers busy. That's how people are. They laughed at me, wanting you. Said we were reaching for the moon. But oh, you came through. Now they'll have to change their tune. They all said we'd never get together, darling, let's take a vow. But ha ha ha, who's got the last laugh now? Oh, Louis. get in. They all laughed at Whitney and his cotton gin. They all laughed at Fulton and his steamboat Hershey and his chocolate bar. Ford and his Lizzie made the laughers busy. That's how people are. They laughed at me wanting you. Said it would be hello, goodbye. But ooh, you came through. Now they're eating humble pie. They all said we'd never get together. Darling, let's take a bow. But ha ha ha, who's got the last laugh? He he he, let's have the past laugh. Ha ha ha, who's got the last laugh now? Yeah, that's the Gershwins for you, really. In this next tune, Nelson Riddle used, he married a large orchestra with a small band to create a 9-note riff that was repeated to put something fresh into this song, which was very popular at the time. This is Our Love Is Here to Stay. One, two. The 9-note riff. It's very clear our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancy and in time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here. Our love is here. Our love is here to stay. Thank you. (1961). The 60s have arrived. And it's time for Harold Arlen. Personally, I love Harold Arlen. So did Ella. Ella once said, "The reason I love Harold Arlen is because there's always a mystery to his songs, to his melodies. You never quite know what's coming next. He keeps you guessing. He's also incredibly versatile." And that's exactly what I think. This is the man who composed the score for The Wizard of Oz with Yip Harburg, the lyricist, and then wrote some extremely dark pieces. And we're going to give you an example of both of those. Now, the other thing that was interesting about this songbook was that Norman Granz wanted Ella to really stretch out on this one, to really be herself and put her stamp on these songs. And I think mostly it was because Harold Arlen was a magnet to blues and jazz. He infused it into everything he did. So Granz hired Billy May, who was not Nelson Riddle this time, who was a real swing arranger, and said, leave a lot of room for Ella to improvise, leave a lot of room for the instrumentalist to improvise. So this was, like, let's say, the jazziest of all of the songbooks. And I think it was a smart thing to do. It was incredibly popular. Well, let's start with a tune from The Wizard of Oz. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ding dong, the witch, old witch, the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, you sleepyhead, rub your eyes, get out of bed. Wake up, the wicked witch is dead. She's gone where the goblins go. Below, below, below your home. Let's open up and sing and ring the bells out. Ding dong, the merry-o. Sing it high, sing it low. Let them know the wicked witch is dead. Ding, 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 ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch, old witch, the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, you sleepyhead, rub your eyes, get out of bed. Wake up, the wicked witch is dead. She's gone where the goblins go. Below, below, below your home. Let's open up and sing and ring the bells out. Ding dong, the merry-o. Sing it high, sing it low. Let them know the wicked witch is dead. Witch dead, witch, old witch, wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, you sleepyhead, rub your eyes, get out of bed. Wake up, the wicked witch is dead. She's gone where the goblins go. Below, oh, oh, below, oh, oh, yo ho. Let's open up and sing and ring the bells out. Ding dong, the merry-o. Sing it high, sing it low. Let them know the wicked witch is dead. Let them know the wicked witch. You thought it was going to be somewhere over the rainbow, didn't you? Surprise. And now, here is an example of one of his much darker songs. Same composer, Harold Arlen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blow, you winds blow away. Let me rest today. You're blowing me no good, no good. Go. You winds go away. Skies are oh so gray. Around my neighborhood, and that ain't good. You're only misleading. The sunshine sunshine I'm needing. Ain't that a shame? It's so hard to keep up with troubles that creep up from out of nowhere. When love's to blame, so you will go away. Find my love today. You're blowing me no good, no good. You're only misleading the sunshine I'm needing. Ain't that a shame? It's so hard to keep up with troubles that creep up from out of nowhere. When love's to blame, so you wind blow away. Find my love today. You're blowing me no good. No good. No Thank you so much. Second to last songbook, Jerome Kern, 1963. Now, the thing with Jerome Kern is that he always said he thought that jazz was the debasement of music. And here we had Ella Fitzgerald doing his songbook. But after coming off of the Harold Arlen songbook, doing her thing, she came back, composed herself, sang every note as written, and Jerome Kern was more than pleased, shall we say. Now, I'm not so sure he would like what we're about to do with this song of his, Yesterday's, but he's not around, so we're going to do it anyway. Here we go. Yesterdays, days I knew as happy, sweet sequester days. Olden days, golden days, days of mad romance and love. And gay youth was mine, truth was mine, joyous, free and flaming life forsooth was mine. Sad am I, glad am I, for today I'm dreaming of yesterday. Yesterdays, days I knew as happy, sweet sequester days. Olden days, golden days, days of mad romance and love. And gay youth was mine, truth was mine, joyous, free and flaming life forsooth was mine. Sad am I, glad am I, for today I'm dreaming of yesterdays. Sugar, Louis Herbo. Yeah. A couple more before you go. The last songbook was 1964, and here we are. Ella had won 3 Grammys at this point. Now, this was the only songbook that saluted a lyricist. And rightly so, it was Johnny Mercer, one of the most prolific lyricists of the last century. I'm just going to do the one song from this album, and it was the most talked about. It was so beautifully done by Ella, but the story behind it is that Hoagy Carmichael composed the music for a Broadway musical that never happened. And he liked the tune, so he gave it to his buddy Johnny Mercer, and he said, see if you can put some lyrics to this. Well, it took Mercer a year, but he got there. And what came out was a set of the most mystical, beautiful, far off, and yearning set of lyrics that I can imagine. And the story goes that he wrote these lyrics about Judy Garland, with whom he had had an affair with. This is Skylark. One time. Skylark, have you anything to say to me? Won't you tell me where my love can be? Is there a meadow in the mist where someone's waiting to be kissed? Oh, Skylark, have you seen a valley green with spring, where my love can go a journeying over the shadows and the rain to a blossom-covered lane? And in your lonely flight, haven't you heard the music in the night? Wonderful music, faint as a will-o'-the-wisp, crazy as a loon, sad as a gypsy serenading the moon. Skylark, I don't know if you can find these things, but my heart is riding on your wings. So if you see them anywhere, won't you lead me there? Thank you. Before we leave you this evening, and we thank you for being here, thank you so much. Give it up one more time for Louis Herbo. Chris Wiggenbach. Xavier Breaker. I'm Sarah Partridge. Now, thank you. This is not from the songbooks, but this is my little personal homage to Ella. When I was 11 years old, I heard this album. It was called Ella Fitzgerald, live at Montreux with the Tommy Flanagan Trio. And it was one of those outings where Ella seemed to transcend reality, because she sang this song, One Note Samba, by Antonio Carlos Jobim, for 6.5 minutes without ever singing a lyric. Pure improvisation. And I thought to myself, could I maybe somehow try to do that someday? I was very impressed by this whole album, but particularly this song. So my little tip of the hat to Ella this evening is One Note Samba. Here we go. Thank you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Dum diggity giddy dum ding diggity diggy dum diggity giddy dum. Dum diggity giddy dum dum diggity diggy dum diggity giddy dum. Duggy dum diggity giddy dum ding diggity diggy dum diggity giddy dum. Dugga dum diggity giddy dum dum da diggity dum diggity giddy dum. Dugga dum dugga diggity gabba down down ba down down. Baba dugga dum dugga dugga dum down down. Gotta ding dum da dum diggity giddy dum diggity giddy dum diggity giddy dum. Diggity dum diggity go to dum diggity giddy dum diggity giddy dum. Da da dum diggity go to bum 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 bum. Diggity go to dum. Da da dum dum da da dum 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 da dum. Diggity dum 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 dum. Down da da dum ba ba dum ba ba dum ba ba dum dum dum. Flap ba dum dum ga dum dum da 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 dum 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 dum. Sugar dum 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 dum. Fla la la dum 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 dum. Fla la la da da dum 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 dum. Ba ba dum dum dum. There's so many people who can talk and just say nothing, only nothing. I have used up all the skill and know that they end up come to nothing, or nearly nothing. So I come back to my first note, as I must come back to you. I will pour into that one note all the love I feel for you. much, everybody. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.